again, guidance not to travel internationally. For more on this, I'm joined now by a panel of parliamentarians. Arif Virani is the Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of International Trade. He's in Toronto. Melissa Lantsman is the Conservative Transport Critic. She's in Ottawa. Don Davies is the NDP Health Critic. He is also in Ottawa. Arif Virani, first one to you. This advisory now, avoid non-essential international travel. The variant is already in Canada, though, and it is already spreading rapidly. So, I mean, I think what a lot of people are wondering is what good will this advisory do for the fight against Omicron here in Canada?
Well, thank you, Paul, for the question. I think what we're trying to do is ensure that we have the tools that are at our disposal as a federal government, that we are exercising those tools as quickly as possible and as responsibly as possible. What we've learned, and the Prime Minister had a emergency call with the premiers of the provinces just yesterday, is that this new variant is replicating at a very, very high rate. It's spreading much faster than the Delta variant. It's on an exponential curve, and what we're trying to do is control levers that we can control, which includes the border and things like travel. We're trying to give Canadians as much notice as possible, as far in advance as possible. So that's why we quickly moved to issue a travel advisory to encourage people that now is not the time for non-essential international travel. That is a difficult message to receive prior to the holidays. We appreciate that. It is a time when people want to be reuniting with loved ones, getting some rest and relaxation, but we need people to do as they've done these last 22 months and continue to be responsible, follow public health guidelines. And in this instance, we're urging them to avoid international travel because we simply don't know what the curve is going to look like, 5 days from now, a couple of weeks from now, when people would be seeking to return from certain countries. And as you heard Minister Duclos said, there's a large element of unpredictability about what may happen in certain foreign destinations. Well,
given that unpredictability, and you're right, there's a lot we don't know about this. So what about other tools in the old toolbox, like banning people from coming here from other countries or bringing a quarantine back into play? What about some of those things, if the threat is as potentially large as this one seems to be?
Well, all of the rules that were in place as of today remain in place as of today, so that's important for people to understand. We're still encouraging people to follow all public health guidelines, and we've already put in place certain bans in the case of, in particular, of Omicron, with respect to people coming from certain countries where we first detected the virus. It has reached Canada as it's reached many other countries. It is spreading within the country. Issues that relate to sort of how it spreads and things such as what people are doing in cities like mine, in Toronto, in provinces around the country are the purview of the provinces. That's what the Prime Minister discussed with the various premiers yesterday. What we have control over is, again, the borders. And what we're doing also with the fall economic statement, as you heard Minister Freeland outline, is we're putting in place the dollars to support the fight against Omicron. So that includes everything from ventilation supports to locations, supports for businesses and workers, but also things such as ensuring the 86 million rapid tests that we've already provided are complemented with another 35 million, and ensuring that boosters are available. I was fortunate enough to receive my booster just yesterday, and we're urging people to get boosters as fast as possible. That's why Premier Ford's announcement just a few moments ago about making third shots available for those age 18 or older is critical in terms of how we fight jointly against this new variant.
And I obviously want to get to our other two guests, but I just one more to you. So we talk about the African countries, so the restrictions there still exist, and yet Omicron has spread all over the place, but we still seem focused on those 10 countries in terms of travel restrictions. Why is that?
So the focus is not only on those 10 countries, but that was the original decision that was made approximately 10 days ago when the variant was first discovered there. That ban remains in place, but the situation is very dynamic, as your viewers should understand. Things change quite rapidly, particularly with this variant. We know that Omicron has now been found in many other countries, including our own country. We're trying to use the tools that are in our toolbox to address them, particularly with respect to the border. And if we need to revisit the issue about particularly listed countries, we will, including revisiting the prescriptions or prohibitions that are made on international travel and who is permitted to enter the country.
Melissa Lantsman, citing Omicron, Liberals, we saw yesterday, reduced their, I know it's a micro example in a sense, but they reduced their presence in the House of Commons and they went virtual with their caucus meeting today. The NDP went virtual with its caucus meeting and is also reducing the number of MPs in the House. How about your party? What are the plans there?
Look, we are going to follow all of the public health guidelines that have been put in place, that Canadians have followed. Look, on the eve of Christmas break, where people are looking to reunite with their families, where they have done everything this government has asked. They have worn masks, they have social distance, they wash their hands, they have been vaccinated. This advisory is absolutely there because the Liberals have failed on rapid testing at ports of entry and have failed to secure boosters in time for that 6-month window when we need them. We have always said that vaccination is the key to this. And I think now you're seeing a government that is confusing in terms of its guidance and fear-mongering to the Canadian public at a time where they absolutely don't need that.
So your party is comfortable meeting in large groups in the same room?
We are going to continue. We are going to continue to follow public health advice. We are going to continue to meet in person. We are going to continue to wear masks and social distance and do it in a safe way. Just last week, earlier this week, the Prime Minister was at a fundraiser with hundreds of people in a room. The government has traveled no less than 10 times on international junkets with big delegations during such travel advisories. So I'm not clear on the advice. Canadians are not clear on the advice, and they deserve answers from this government on the eve of a Christmas holiday.
Don Davies, what does your party want to see from the federal government in response to this?
Well, first of all, I think I'd just like to say that I think Canadians are very disappointed and tired at this point. After taking a false victory lap, Liberals have us right back where we were at the start of the pandemic. Over the last couple of weeks, we've seen a series of confusing, irrational announcements. And even today, we received an advisory against travel for Canadians. But at the same time, as you pointed out, Paul, we are not preventing travelers from coming into Canada. Now, just stop for a moment and think of the absurdity of that. We're advising Canadians who are double vaccinated not to travel to the United States because that could present a danger. But we're allowing Americans to come to Canada without any restrictions at all other than they're being vaccinated. There's no travel restrictions on them. Frankly, that's absurd. What we think we should be doing right now is free rapid tests distributed to everybody. Enough of this blame game with the federal, provincial pointing fingers at each other. We need accelerated boosters so everybody can get boosters right away. We need a health worker recruitment blitz, and we need 10 paid sick days now. The Liberal paid sick plan will give Canadians 10 paid sick days 1 year from now. That's not when we need it. We need them now.
Arif Virani, all the talk these days is get that booster. That's where we're at now. We hear it all the time. I think the number is 16 million vaccine doses in the stockpile in Canada right now. That would seem to be not enough to boost all Canadians aged 18 and up. When will there be enough, since that's the message? Get that booster, and there isn't enough.
We have, a couple of things to respond to both Ms. Lantsman and Mr. Davies. So I know Ms. Lantsman is new to the Parliament, but she should know that in the last Parliament, there was extensive discussion about rapid tests. It was back in the fall of 2020. When the rapid tests arrived, they were not taken up by provinces, including her and my own province in Ontario. There are 85 million rapid tests here right now. There are 35 million more that are coming. They're already being provided free of charge to those who are asking for them. Secondly, with respect to boosters, we have enough to provide a third shot booster to any Canadian that is eligible for it, and that is about 160 days after your previous shot. So that is categorically misinformation that she was indicating to you and to your viewers. With respect to, we've always said vaccination is the key. I think that's the quote that Ms. Lantsman used. I find that a little bit puzzling and lacking a lot of credibility, given the fact that we still are not clear on whether the entire Conservative caucus is vaccinated. So I'll just leave that for your viewers to discern for themselves. With respect to Mr. Davies, I have absolute agreement with what he's saying in terms of getting benefits available to Canadians immediately. And it would be helpful if all parliamentarians joined forces, including the official opposition, to pass Bill C2 so that we can do exactly that promptly, because that is part of the tools that we have at our disposal to address COVID-19.
Please, very quick responses. If I allow you 2 responses, I need you to be quick because we've run out of time. Melissa Lantsman, you first.
Absolutely, this is nonsense. I'm actually the one standing in Ottawa, so I take offense to this. We have always said that vaccines are the key to getting out of this, and after so long, the Canadians have followed all of this advice. They are now being told that they need to cancel their Christmas vacations with absolutely no scientific backing at all. And I think Canadians will ask questions of this government. I think they need to ask questions. We had the House Leader yesterday point out that the efficacy of rapid tests are questionable. He's not a scientist. He's not a doctor. He's the House Leader, and he should stay in his lane.
Don Davies, very quickly.
Well, the Liberals keep saying that rapid tests are available, but nobody can seem to get them. They say that boosters are everywhere. I'm 58 years old. I had my last shot 6 months ago. I'm not in line to get a booster shot. And just yesterday at committee, the NDP moved a motion to give every Canadian worker 4 days paid sick days now. The Liberals voted against that. Instead, once the bill becomes law, Canadians will accumulate 1 day of paid sick day per month. It'll take a year before workers get 10 paid sick days. That's not doing everything you can in a pandemic. So, where we're at right now is disappointing, and we need clear, strong, consistent guidance from the federal government and enough blaming the provinces and other people.
We got to go. Show of hands. Who's changing their Christmas plans because of Omicron? Hands up. Nobody?
I was planning on traveling.
Oh, it's hard to say. Put it in front of your face. Put it in front of your face. Hands up in front of your face. Just one. All right. Okay, well, thanks to the three of you. Talk again.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Hi, I'm Vashi Capellos, host of Power in Politics. See more of our show by subscribing to the CBC News channel or click the link for another video.